Welcome back to another Pokemon Throwback Thursday, where every Thursday morning we take a deep dive into a vintage set. We're going in complete order. So the set we're checking out today is XY Furious Fist. And then, we'll be checking out the top cards in the most recent sales and their best seal products. And then we're doing a new thing where every single Thursday we highlight a new Pokemon and we check out their best cards in Pokemon history. This week we are checking out Blastoise. We did Venusaur last week and then Zard the week before that, so definitely check those out. And before we get started, we do have to give a big thanks to our video sponsor real quick, and that is Collectr. This app is the best of the best when it comes to tracking your collection. No other app even compares. They have over 25 different TCGs with almost 2 million products tracked, and they're always trying to improve and add new cards, boxes, and features. So let us know down below if there's anything you want them to fix or add. And then two, they do more giveaways than anyone in this entire hobby. So make sure you follow them on all their socials, and you can even sign up for their pro membership, where they do like actually insane giveaways. So definitely check them out. I'll have all the links in the description. All right, let's get into it. We got XY Furious Fist. This set came out August 13th, 2014. 111 cards plus 2 secret rares. Now, I was a really big fan of this set because Heracross is actually one of my all-time favorite Pokemon. Like literally in like my top 10, probably like top 15, probably like 12 or something like that. But super excited that he was getting some love. And then it also had Dragonite in this set, which, again, one of my favorite Pokemon. So I was super happy that Heracross is getting some love in the new Phantasmal Flame set. But we got a full art Heracross, got the Seismitoad, Lucario, full art Dragonite, and then we got the Battle Reporter, Fossil Researcher, and then the Karina. And then for our 2 secret rares, we got the Mega Heracross EX and then the Mega Lucario EX. So not a bad little set, but to be honest, it was not very popular at all. I was just a big fan of like the Fossil Researcher trainer, one of my favorite trainers of all time. And then, like I said, Heracross and Dragonite instead is a win for me. But yeah, definitely not a fan favorite for sure. So now we're checking out the prices. The Mega Lucario, the secret rare, is the most expensive, followed by the Lucario full art, then the Dragonite EX full art. And again, these PSA 10s are actually really, really tough to find. We got the Hawlucha for $10, just one of the basic EXs. Didn't get any crazy cards for him. Then we got the Dragonite, $25. Mega Heracross, not the secret rare, for $20. Got the full art Lucario for $110. Karina full art for $40. Got the Mega Lucario. Now this is the promo for Furious Fist, which we will be checking in a second. This sold for $100. Then we got the full art Lucario, $90. Another one for $95. Just a basic Dragonite EX for $5. And then the Fossil Researcher for $13. Mega Heracross for $10. That's just a basic EX. Seismitoad for $50. Mega Lucario secret rare for $45. Another Mega Lucario secret rare for $90. Another one for $65, $50. Karina for $25. Here's the promo again for $220. This is the best Mega Lucario card we had, besides the new one that's coming out where he's fighting Mega Venusaur. I think that one blows it out of the water. We got a Dragonite full art for $45, and then the secret rare Mega Lucario with 1 bit at $140. Another promo Lucario at $105 and $130. All right, so we have the secret rare Mega Lucario. This sold for $2,893 in a PSA 10. And we had a sale before that at $1,500, which is kind of crazy. Next, we have the full art Mega Lucario. Last sale, which was like 5 months ago on price charting, was $3,100. Next, we have the full art Dragonite. Could not find any recent sales for this card, so if you guys do see anything, put it down below in the comments. But that was $1,500. Says there's only a pop of 20, and that was at the very end of 2024. Next, we have the other Mega Lucario. This is not the secret rare. This sold for $1,450 in July, and the most recent sale is $1,250. Next, we have the Mega Heracross. High sale $660. And again, this is not the secret rare. All right, next, this is the secret rare Mega Heracross, which sold a couple months ago at $1,500 in a PSA 10. And I couldn't really find any recent PSA 10 sales for the trainers. The last sales were around a few $100. And now we have the booster pack. Still very affordable. Regular booster pack with the Hawlucha artwork at $50. $50. We got the art set, but this is the 3 card packs. That was for $40. We got the Mega Heracross one at $45. Here we got the sleeve booster pack at $92. Got the full art set here for $165 for some loose booster packs. Another one for $160. Got another pack here for 40. We got 2 check lane blisters here that sold for $138 for 8 bids, and a Howlucha sleeve booster at $65 on auction. And then booster box last sold $4,551. And then we did have the Furious Fist ETB sold for $6,700. This is one of the rarest ETBs in Pokemon history, which is why it's worth more than the actual booster box. And then we got another booster box here at $4,575. And we got 22 sealed packs from a booster box for $1,149. And one more booster box at $3,500. But yeah, I would love to get this ETB one day. All right, let's get into Blastoise. So these are all the modern cards for the Sword and Shield era and the Scarlet and Violet era. Again, not very much love for Blastoise and Venusaur in those two eras. You know, tons of Zard cards, but so we got the Blastoise from 151. Now, a lot of people would definitely say is, you know, probably the best Blastoise in Pokemon history. It's not my favorite, which I'll tell you my favorite today when I show you, but it's very close. I mean, it's really tough to beat for sure. And then we do have the Blastoise VMAX promo from the Sword and Shield era, which is going up in price, by the way. Market price now $35. And then we got the Blastoise reprint from the big trading card classic box at $30. And then the Blastoise from Celebrations also moving up in price, market price $16. Pretty nice full art. Probably one of my favorite full arts from 151. Like the blue background just looks super, super nice for that Blastoise at 14. And then we got the Radiant Blastoise from Pokemon Go. And then I actually am a big fan of this basic V Blastoise here. Super cool promo. You know, only $5-6. But I don't know, I just like the art on it. And then yeah, just a regular holo. All right, first card, we got Blastoise and Piplup GX Tag Team. Pokedata did not have the up-to-date information, so we are on eBay. Last sold raw, $328, $450 your best offer, $500 your best offer, $335 buy it now. PSA 9 at $370, 44 bids. We got one at $215 with 43 bids, just raw. Another one at $399. We got a PSA 10 at $1,775 your best offer, which I think we got one right here at $1,875 is the high. Then we got one at $1,800. There's the $1,775, $1,700, $1,675. So getting pretty expensive. Next, we have the Rainbow Blastoise and Piplup GX Tag Team. Best rainbow cards we've ever gotten. So happy that I got all of them. Last sold in a PSA 10, $315, $375, $337, $355. Seen a few sales now at $400. Then raw, $58, $71, $100, $80. Still pretty affordable raw, to be honest, especially for how expensive these boxes are now and how hard these cards are to pull. Next, we have the full art version. So same exact art. You know, we got the rainbow, then we got the full art. Let me know down below which one do you guys like better, the full art with the blue or the rainbow? And then also let me know what other Pokemon you guys want to see. I'm making a whole list and I'm going to try to knock out a ton of these different Pokemon. But yeah, we got the full art here. Only 510 in a 10 and 501 in a 9. Let's see, last sold in a 10, 360. Then raw 80, 80, 68, 50, 40, 61. PSA 9 at 80. All right, next we got another tag team, Blastoise and Piplup GX, but this is not a textured card. This has a pop of 1,082 in a 10, 1,347 in a 9. Last sold raw 59, 55, 83, 75. PSA 10 at 475 and a 9 at 105 and 115. Next, we have a Blastoise GX. I think this is super cool because, you know, it is just a basic GX, but we're getting art pretty much throughout the whole card. Pretty cool looking scene. This is from Unbroken Bonds. Only 669 in a 10. Last sold raw. Very, very cheap. You know, 14, 7, 11. We got a PSA 10 at $95. Another one here at 133. All right, next. This is my all-time favorite Blastoise card art-wise. Now, the base set card, that's going to be my all-time favorite just because it's so nostalgic. But art-wise, this thing absolutely destroys it. And then even if you compare this card to the Venusaur version, or the Pikachu, or the Charizard, this one has the best 3 Pokemon. Literally a Gyarados, a Vaporeon, and a Blastoise. The other ones, they usually have one average Pokemon in there. But yeah, this card is crazy. And in my opinion, this is the best modern Blastoise card in Pokemon history. And it is getting more expensive. Last sold raw says $300. Must have been crazy clean. because otherwise we got 70. This one says 42, probably pretty damaged. 122, 125, 130, 175, 250, 164, 90. We got a PSA 9 at $645. And then we did have a PSA 10 sale at $5,760. Next, we have the full art Blastoise EX from XY base set. Super insane low pop with only 18 and a 10. But last sold raw 92, 50, 72, 140, 111. And then we got a PSA 10 sale here at $7,100. Right, next we have the full art Mega Blastoise EX from XY Evolutions. This is the one with the pink on the card. Pretty high pop, 5,200 in a 10 and 4,900 in a 9. Last sold raw 75, 35, 65, 91, 100. We got a PSA 10 at 510 and 630. And we got a 9 at 135. Next, we have the Mega Blastoise EX from XY Evolutions. This is number 22. Last sold for this one, 17, 10, 19, 14. We got a PSA 10 at 180. Another one at 215. Another one at 215. Next, we have the Blastoise EX from Generations. I like this one for some reason. I don't know. His face just kind of pops in it. Last sold raw, $3, $8, $9, $5, $11. Very, very cheap. We did have a PSA 10 sale a few months ago at $125, so very affordable. It is just a basic EX, but it is from Generation. Now we're getting some crazy stuff here. We got the Blastoise Delta Species card. This is from Crystal Guardians. There is a holo and reverse holo. You guys know I like the reverse holos 1,000 times more with the stamp and the border. It just looks so nice. Last sold for this card, we got raw at 70, 99, 75, 115. PSA 9 at 650. And then we got a PSA 10 sale in July at $5,000. Next, we have another reverse holo. This is from Crystal Guardians. Got that beautiful stamp on there. Really nice background. Last sold for this one, 60, 65. PSA 9 at 275. Another one at 65. We do have a 10 here at $1,499. And that was in August. Next, we have the Blastoise Holo from Diamond and Pearl Secret Wonders. Crazy low pop. Last sold raw 19, 10, 23. PSA 9 at 200. Another one at 220. And we do have a basic CGC 10 at $725, but no PSA 10. Next, we have the Blastoise Pop Series 3. Barely any info on this card, but a huge fan of this one. Love the art. Really feels like it's kind of hand-drawn. He just looks so mean. And last sold raw says $400, which is kind of crazy. Then we got one at 70. What else do we have? We got one with a swirl at 130. And it does say we have a PSA 10 sale at 2,894, but don't even really know when that was. Very tough to find in clean condition for sure. Next, we have the Blastoise Holo. I promise we're about to get to some crazy vintage cards. Just like to throw in some of these random holos. Love this one. There's a little rainbow in here. Kind of a bad picture, but very cheap. Last sold $9, $10, $20. PSA 8 at 38. We got a PSA 1 at 125. And then we got a PSA 9 at 170. Next, we have the Blastoise from Heart Gold Soul Silver Unleashed. Love this card. Now, they do have like the cracked ice reverse holo and stuff like that. There's a few different versions. Again, very, very cheap. $5, $10 card. But they do have a staff version of this card with the nice stamp on there. And last sold for that in a PSA 10, which was a few months ago, is $1,697. But this is a super cool card. I would love to get this staff card. Next, now we're getting some good stuff. We got the Blastoise EX from Fire Red Leaf Green. I love how dark this card looks. So cool. Last sold in a PSA 10, $3,072. We got raw 199, 284, 300, 836 for a PSA 9. Sucks. I have this card, but mine is definitely probably moderately played. I got it in a big lot. So I do need this card in near mint condition, and it's definitely getting kind of expensive. Next, this is another one of my favorite Blastoise cards. I don't know why, but I just love his face. It's goofy. It's shiny. You know, you can see his shell is green and has a little bit of texture on the card. And I know the picture doesn't really do it justice, but the gold border just really, really pops in person. There's a Charizard version of one of these also. This is from Plasma Storm. Crazy low pop, only 46 and a 10. And last sold raw 85, 165, 219, 190, PSA 9 at 750. And then we do have a PSA 10 sale at $3,999. And that was in June. Next, we are getting to some e-reader cards. Now, I don't know why, but this is probably my favorite e-reader Blastoise card, even though I know the other one is a lot cooler that we're going to look at in a second. But I don't know. I've just always been a big fan of this one for some reason. This is number 36 from Expedition. This is the reverse holo. Last sold, raw was 55, 65, 110. PSA 9 at 140, but it doesn't have any info there. Another 9 at 181. And then we do have a PSA 10 sale here at $600, which was a few months ago. Next, this is the other Expedition card that I was talking about, the other e-reader card. He just looks so mean in this one. I don't know why I'd like the other one a little bit more. I think it's just a little goofier. I don't know. But last sold for this one is 95. We got a PSA 9 at 1,469, another one at 1,200. Rot 175, 293, 350, 225, another 9 at 950. And then we got a PSA 10 sale here at $3,360. We have a Japanese version with an auto. Who is this from? Kimiya Masago, mint 9. That sold for $4K for that card. But again, probably one of the coolest Blastoise cards just because he looks so mean going in the water. Next, we're getting to the real vintage here. So this is the Legendary Collection Reverse Holo Dark Blastoise. There is also a holo version in this set. Last sold for this card, $199, $300, $330, $215, $275. We got a PSA 9 at $1,430. And if you guys did not know, when you open up a Legendary Collection pack, there is one guaranteed reverse holo like this in every single pack. And you can get every single card in the set in this reverse holo. That's why this is one of the toughest master sets to complete, like a true master set, because you got to get all the reverse holos also, which is one of my all-time favorite cards. I have this thing completely master setted, and I'm actually working on a second one where it's just the reverse holos, because I don't need to collect the regular holos again since I already have them, but I'm a big fan of these cards. And we got a PSA 10 sale here at $6,478. We even have the box topper at $4,997. This is a box topper I would love to have one day. Next, we have the Dark Blastoise from Team Rocket, which is the same art as Legendary Collection, as you can see. This is the unlimited version. Last sold for this one, 72, 61, 42, 76, 85. Still very affordable. You know, if you want it super minty, of course, it's going to be expensive, but even a PSA 9, only $375. And then we do have a PSA 10 sale here at $3,600. And then we did have one sale after that that went down to $3K. Next, we have the same card, but the first edition. So last sold in a PSA 9, $1,900, $1,291, $699. And then we have raw at $215, $255, $150, $304, $404. We got a PSA 8 at $398. And then we got a PSA 10 here at $6,000 in August. Wow. And we got one newer one too, right at 6K. So the last few sales have been right at 6K. Next, we have the OG Blastoise. So, you know, like I said, the XY promo that I like has way better art, but this thing is just so nostalgic to me. And there's a base set 2 version 2 with the same exact art, which is the 2 here. And that one's a little bit cheaper. I just didn't add it. And even though this is the unlimited version, it still has a very low pop. Only 381 in the 10 and 4,763 in the 9. 8,849 in the 8 and 7,800 in a 7. Even 7,000 in a 6, 6,000 in a 5, 3,000 in a 4, 1,400 in a 3, even 834 in a 2. Yeah, only 381 in a 10, which is crazy. So we got a PSA 9 here for 850, otherwise raw 120, 120, 75, 50, 90, 54, 58, 129. So if you guys do like, you know, the history of stuff, you know, this card is very, very affordable. This would be like a mid-tier alternate art card. And we're talking a card that's, you know, over 25 years old now. And we got a PSA 10 sale here at $4,455 for that unlimited. Next, we have the Shadowless. Same card, but you know, they printed this one a lot less, and there's no shadow here on the right side on this border. Very low pop again, only 44 and a 10, but way less graded. You know, only 636 nines, 1,000 eights, 947s. So they just, you know, printed this card way less because they only did Shadowless for a short amount of time. And then we got Raw here, 123 for moderately played, 140, 150, 165, 250, 214. It's definitely going to be closer over $200 if you want anything like actually really minty or, you know, with no damage. And then we got a PSA 9 at $1,750. Next, we have a PSA 10 at $13,000 for the Shadowless. And these cards almost never come up for sale. That was in June. Next, we have the Blastoise First Edition base set Shadowless card. This is the king of Blastoise cards. There's technically one that is more expensive, which I'll show you here in a minute, but I'm talking from like actual sets that you can pull. This one actually has a little bit higher pop than the Shadowless, with 101 and a 10 and 714 and a 9. I could see one day where Shadowless maybe catches up to First Edition. You know, it's possible. You never know. So Raw, $1,150. We got one at $1,200. PSA 9 at $5,356. Let's see, that has the Blastoise, Wartortle, and Squirtle, sold for $1,200 raw. And we got a PSA 8 at $2,920. And another 8 at $3,200. Got a PSA 10 here at $10K. And a PSA 9 at $6,500. Raw at $850 for moderately played. So very, very expensive for sure. And our biggest sale, which is at the end of June, was $23,750 in a PSA 10. But we did have a sale after that at $17,000, which is, you know, quite the difference. We even have a CGC Basic 10 at $11K. All right, next we are going to some Japanese. So this is their, you know, 25th anniversary reprint of Blastoise, you know, our celebrations card. As you can see, it looks a lot different. They even have a different stamp, which most people like. They got a gold border. Super cool card, and these cards probably will go up once we hit the 30th. People aren't even talking about these, but last sold 23 raw, 32, 35, 20, PSA 10 at 159, 117, and 169. Next, just showing you this, but for the mega cards on the Japanese side, I talked about this for Venusaur 2 and Charizard. They have the English word on the card, and we have the Japanese word on the card. So if you are a really big fan of these cards, it looks super, super nice to get the English and Japanese version. Plus, you know, on the Japanese side, these cards really, really pop. The texture's crazy. We got a PSA 10 at 663, 787, raw 275, 268, 150. So pretty expensive for this card. And this is my favorite Japanese exclusive Blastoise. This is Claire's Blastoise from the Versus set. Super cool, unique card. I was going to get this card in a PSA 10. It's getting tougher and tougher to find. It's going up in price right now, but last sold raw 36, 57, PSA 9 at 55. We got another raw at 49 and a 9 at 112. And we got a PSA 10 sale at 206, 205. It's probably around $300 now, or that's all that's on eBay right now, but super cool one. Next, this is the Japanese CD promo. Love this art, super cool. And we got a Beckett Gold 10 sold for $1,500. And we got a PSA 10 at 1,050 and another one at 962. But super cool art. And it's the same art that is in the rarest Blastoise card in Pokemon history. This is the test print Blastoise with the Magic the Gathering back. Now, this is a dream of mine because my brother is obsessed with Magic like I am with Pokemon. So I've been playing Magic my whole life. So it'd be super cool to have something that has both of them in one card. But yeah, this sold for $45,000 in June, and it's literally a 6.5 CGC card. But man, this is a definite goal of mine to get one day. It's just so cool and unique. You don't ever see cards like this. All right, next, we have a Chinese exclusive card. This is a new Radiant card that they got, and Chinese is the only place that has it. They also have a Venusaur and the Eevee, which has all three right here. So these are all Chinese exclusives and very cheap, you know, $8. And last on the list, we have Blastoise sealed products. So he does have a couple nice ones. I don't know why they added Pokemon Go up there, but we got the red and blue collection. So this has that X and Y promo, the one where I said it's the best art in Pokemon history, in my opinion. Also comes with 4 generation packs and a nice little figure up there. It says market price is $563. Let's check the actually recently sold. These don't sell a ton, especially on TCG Player, but last sold, which was, literally in June, $629. Stuff like this, when we're talking expensive sealed products, everybody wants to see pictures. That's why a lot of stuff like this, once it gets like over $500 or more, they start selling a lot more on eBay, where it's easier to just get a ton of good pictures. And you can always, message them a lot easier on eBay compared to TCG Player. And then we do have the XY Evolutions ETB. This is with Mega Blastoise on the box. Super, super cool ETB. Last sold for this one, $499, $489, $497. And then what else do we got? We do have a Blastoise GX Premium Collection. This is the one that comes with the full art blue Blastoise. It even comes with the Jumbo. Comes with some Unbroken Bonds packs. Super, super nice box. And then we even had a Battle Arena deck with the Mega Blastoise. Another cool little box if you guys are, a really big Blastoise fan. Even Blooming Waters technically has Blastoise on the box. And then here is that Blastoise VMAX Battle Box from the Sword and Shield era. Definitely one of the cooler Blastoise boxes we've ever gotten. Even comes with its own Blastoise sleeves. Box is getting pretty expensive now, almost $100. And this is the new Venusaur EX and Blastoise EX box, but it's more of a Venusaur box. Then we got a couple battle decks. And we do have a tin, XY Furious Fists, and another deck. This is a pretty cool deck because it's a team-up theme deck. So, team up, one of the greatest sets in Pokemon history. Plus, look at the art on that box. Because I know a lot of people, I actually have a friend who is a Blastoise fan, and he has a ton of this stuff. And then, we got that Mega Battle deck here. There's a Charizard one and a Blastoise one. And as you can see, they have, a V on one and an S on the other. So they kind of go together. Definitely some of the coolest decks we've ever gotten for sure. But all right, that was today's Pokemon Throwback Thursday. If you guys do like this content, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a like and comment. If you guys want to support more, you guys can check out my Instagram, my TikTok, or my YouTube membership. It's only 99 cents a month. But all right, I want you guys to have a great day. And then if you guys want to watch my last Pokemon What If Wednesday, which was a crazy one, click this video here. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.